Mike with Mike's Bags. Today I'm reviewing the Pound by Pitch Bags. Let's go ahead and dive in, break these bags down. As always, we'll start with materials. Slow side, this is a hybrid material. It's the same slow side material you find on the slow side of the swag bags, Tornado, Kaboom, Southwest, Hefe, Tatanka, Fly Luna, Corner Graphics, Hustle. The Sub-Zero Wintertide uses it. There's quite a few bags that uses it. It's what I used to call, or still call, that clone material. It was kind of that first material that came out when the Viper R slow side material became unavailable. A lot of companies started using this material. They found it. It was very similar. It wasn't exactly the same, similar, and they started using that. That's why I called it the clone material. It plays a touch slower than the Viper R, a little more controlled to it, but a 5-speed. Brand new, can play 5.5, 6-speed. Once it starts to break in, softens up, it gets to about that 5. It stays pretty consistent across the 5. One of the beauties of hybrid materials, and this is no exception to that, is that they play pretty consistent across all board conditions, all weather conditions. So if you're one that deals with humidity, you're one that plays in tournaments that go throughout the entire day and maybe into the evening sometimes, and board conditions change, and you're having to switch bags to adjust to a bag with like this Pound here, this hybrid material. Is one you can use throughout the whole time, and it's going to play about the same all the way across the spectrum of conditions there. So 5-speed on the slow side for these Pounds. Fast side, this is that Pro Sniper Viper fast side. It's a 9-speed fast. Great for pushing and collecting blocks, cleaning up messes, blowing up piles. It slides to the board pretty much any conditions. We're looking about a 5-9 speed on these Pounds. Template-wise, it's a medium template bag, a medium amount of fill in here. So you've got flop. It is not overly floppy. It is also not overly full. Kind of falls right down that middle, kind of the sweet spot of the floppiness of a bag. The fill in here is a flat fill. I think it's 100% flat disc fill. There may be a mixture of some other flats possibly, but all I can feel is that flat disc fill, which gives the bag just an absolute ton of forgiveness. The reason that flat disc fill is so popular is because it really takes a lot of the kick, a lot of the bounce, a lot of the action out of a bag. If you don't throw a flat bag, but you want a bag where you can control it, where you can throw some blockers, play a little bit of a dirty style game, typically those style bags have more of an active, more of a bouncier fill. But a bag like this, when you put that flat disc fill here with this controllable material, you don't have to throw flat. It's not going to punish you if you don't. It's not going to have that massive kick. It's going to land fairly soft, flatten out, and runs fairly straight and true up the board for you, but yet you still have the control to play a little bit of a dirty style game with it. If that sounds like a bag you're looking for, like this Pound might be what you're after there. These are ACO stamped, so if you play at ACO events, you can throw the Pounds. Let's go ahead and jump in, and we'll dive deeper into the playability of that. And one of the beauties of this hybrid material is the versatility with it. You can do a lot with it. If you just want to get up there and run bags in the hole, you can do that. It does a great job of that. Both materials extremely hole friendly. Maybe the one knock, the one negative, I'd say if I had to nitpick this bag at all, it is that flat disc fill isn't always the most hole friendly. And when I talk about fill, I talk about how those round beads, anytime you have round beads, they don't, try to stack marbles or BBs on top of each other. They don't really want to stack. They want to fall off. Stack flat plates or something on top, and they'll stack and they'll stay there. That's kind of what you get with a flat disc fill. You're gaining forgiveness, but you got to give up. It's that zero-sum game. When you gain somewhere, you got to lose somewhere else. It's that trade-off. You have to figure out as a player where your priority is, what you need. And so when you have a flat fill, sometimes the bags will want to hang a little bit on the hole occasionally. I didn't have a huge issue with that, but it typically comes into play when you miss your bags left or right. So when you're throwing bags, and if you're missing left or right, and a bag gets up there and that corner grabs, which this bag has a ton of forgiveness around the hole, and the fact that it has enough flop that if you get that bag up and get the corner to dip in, it'll grab and pull the bag back in. But if you don't have enough speed behind it, it grabs and pulls and it sets. It takes another bag to come in to clip it and knock it in. Not hard to bring in as long as it's not your last bag. As long as you have another bag or your opponent has another bag coming through, more than likely you're going to hit that bag. It'll drip right in for you. And that's just something I just want to mention for those of you. If you throw flat fill bags, you love the way they feel, because flat fill has a wonderful hand feel. This bag has an amazing hand feel to it because that flat fill gives a nice fluid feel. You don't feel any lumps or clumps like you do with beads. Gives it a really nice smooth fluid hand feel. If you like that and you've thrown bags like that, you're familiar with it. Again, I'm really nitpicking here, which is kind of what I do when I review these bags. I have to find the little differences in them. So ton of forgiveness in this Pound, but you are giving up just a hair bit on that hole friendliness. Again, not enough to worry about. As you can see here, I had plenty of bags go in the hole. I didn't really have an issue. As long as you're throwing the bags and you're hitting your marks, you're not going to notice that whatsoever. The beauty in this bag, to me, is more in the dirty style game of that. I think this material, I love this material for playing a dirty style game because you have a ton of control with it. You can throw blockers up there and put them wherever you want. Your level 1, your level 2, your level 3 blockers. You have the ability to really manipulate the bag. And because the bag is not super floppy, you can get more aggressive and put that bag more on your opponent's side. Knowing when it comes time to collect, if you're coming through last bag, I would go slick side, you're coming through, you're just clipping a corner. Floppy bags want to smash the accordion up, and it's hard to collect. You've got to come more in the middle. But with these bags, because they have enough fullness to them, you're clipping a corner, ride that bag up, and you can collect it. If you've got enough speed in this fast side as well, that if you have a level 3 blocker, you can come down and take it all the way up and ride it into the hole. If you've got multiple blockers up there's enough speed in this fast side to come through and push multiple bags in. I didn't have any issues with these bags clogging up the hole. There is enough fold, enough flop here that they do fold up and melt in the hole really well. And they're also decent at shot shaping. Typically, a flat fill bag doesn't have a lot of action, a lot of movement to it, and so shot shaping a little tougher with this. I think because of the fullness of the bag, I didn't have an issue throwing cut shots. I think if you throw rolls or flops and you're above average to advance and that skill set, you'll have no problem with it. For those of you that are average to below average, probably not the easiest bag to throw because it doesn't have that natural movement, that natural bounce or get up that you want for a bag to make it easier to roll or flop. But again, like I said, if you've got that skill set and you're at the advanced level, you can roll, flop any bag out there, cut any bag out there. But if you're trying to learn, there are probably better bags out there. But honestly, I love throwing cut shots. I didn't have a problem with this. It's not making those really harsh, aggressive cuts like you would with a bag with a stickier material, more of a bouncier feel to it. But you don't need to. I didn't feel I need to. If my opponent threw a blocker up there, I could just step out, throw a subtle cut around their bag, and put this bag in and leave their bag there. So I had just enough shot shaping and capabilities of this bag to do what I need to get around my opponent's blockers if they did that. I don't want to leave it there. So you do have the versatility to play a dirty style game if you want to. You also have the versatility to play against a dirty style game. If your opponent's throwing blockers and playing dirty, you have the ability of this bag to kind of get around it. You have enough speed to push through. It gives you a lot of options. I always talk about how much I love when a bag gives me options. I have multiple ways to deal with the shot or multiple ways to get my bag in the hole, no matter what my opponent does. I love that. These pounds do that for me. You've got plenty of ways to put your bag in the hole and still leave your opponent's blocker there. You've got plenty of ways to put bags in their way and make them deal with it. And then if they don't collect them, you can come down at the end with your last bag and collect it and put your bags in and hopefully score some points for your opponent. So I love the way the pounds played. I had a lot of fun throwing them. I think they play even better in competition than they do here in the open board. Open board's nice to see, but you don't really get the just to showcase the dirty style play that these bags have on an open board by myself. In competition, they played exceptionally well. Really a big fan of these pounds, which leads me to availability. If you're looking to get a set, Pitch Bags has a website. It's pitchbags.com. As always, I'll put a link in the description for you. The bags were $75, $10 shipping, $85 shipped to you. Phenomenal price, especially for an ACO stamp bag. It's really kind of on that low end of price point, I think. So if you're looking at trying out a set, it sounds like something you're interested in. $85, it's worth the gamble. You're not risking a lot to give them a try. I think you're going to love them. If you've thrown these pounds, I'd love to hear your thoughts on them. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. Always love hearing you guys' opinions. As always, I thank you so much for your support, and I thank you for watching.